Have you ever fallen prey to the bandwagon effect? The bandwagon effect is a cognitive bias that refers to our tendency to adopt behavior or belief because we see a lot of other people doing it. This bias is a close cousin to social proof and herd mentality. Think sheep blindly following the flock. Yes, that's nice, but I was thinking more like this. Here's a tragic tale where following the crowd had deadly consequences, this time for thousands of people, not sheep. In 1889, Johnstown, Pennsylvania was home to a luxurious resort, frequented by elites, perhaps the Mar-a-Lago of its time. Despite obvious safety concerns with the dam upstream, people invested in the resort because, well, everyone was doing it. On May 31st, after days of record-breaking rainfall, the neglected dam broke, releasing 16 million tons of water in the form of a 40-foot-high wave that came rushing towards Johnstown. The monster wave tossed 170,000-pound locomotives like toys, sucked people from buildings, and destroyed everything in its path. The flood caused over $5 billion of damage in today's money and claimed over 2,200 lives, making it the deadliest flood in American history. The Johnstown flood is a poignant lesson in how the bandwagon effect can blind collective reasoning and lead to avoidable tragedy. Even today, well-educated individuals can unknowingly succumb to the bandwagon effect. Here are just a few examples. Consider the surge of cryptocurrencies. Many dive in, lured by the stories of regular people becoming overnight millionaires, without fully understanding the volatilities of the market. Or think about popular wellness trends. Cottage cheese ice cream, anyone? Or how about a giant plate of raw organ meat? The latest diets and fitness routines often stem more from celebrity endorsements and social buzz than scientific evidence. Have you ever cast your vote for someone of questionable values or qualifications because you were towing the party line? How else do you explain teenagers intentionally eating laundry detergent or burning themselves on the stove? Okay, maybe not the best example because, well, they're teenagers. It's easy to assume you never fall victim to the bandwagon effect. Maybe my brother-in-law Ben, but me, never. The bandwagon effect is powerful for several reasons. First, following the crowd can be more efficient because it's a quick way to make a decision when time is of the essence. In other words, it's a mental shortcut. We also jump on bandwagons because it's human nature to want to fit in with the people around us, to belong to a community. If everyone is doing something, we assume they must know something we don't. And finally, we all get a little FOMO at times. So how do we resist the alluring pull of the bandwagon? Here are 3 tips. Tip number 1, embrace the unpopular. Sometimes the path less trodden, the one away from the crowds, holds undiscovered wisdom and opportunities. Warren Buffett wisely warned to be fearful when others are greedy, and to be greedy only when others are fearful. Tip number 2, stay curious. Question not just the path you're resisting, but also the one you're considering joining. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? If the worst thing you can imagine isn't that bad, then maybe don't overthink it. But if there's potential for something to go seriously wrong, slow down the decision-making process and give yourself some time and distance to think critically. Tip number 3, be your own trendsetter. Today's innovators were often yesterday's rebels. Remember, Galileo was persecuted for insisting the Earth revolved around the sun. Your unique path might set the next big trend. And then, when the path gets too crowded, be sure to pave another. When you truly understand how the mind works, you can use the same techniques that lead people to error and motivate them to make good decisions instead.